What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. The last video on the Sleeper Civic, I announced that we may be switching to another shell, and we figured out another reason, right? Should we show them?
Yeah.
So we got in the trunk, and you know everything was all right. And then you're like, okay, cool, we got this trunk. But then check this out. Another issue with the all-wheel drive stuff is they actually cut a hole. Cut a hole for the all-wheel drive, which, you know, in my Civic, the all-wheel drive yellow car, I just used a air hammer and I kind of hammered it up real nice and kind of made it beautiful, whereas this one they chose to just cut it out of there. So I think this car kind of just needs to stay all-wheel drive, right?
Yeah, they also cut the where is it?
So right there, what did they do?
Cut the, what is that called?
Cross brace.
Cross brace.
So right where the, you know, the two control arms bolt, they cut it off to mount the diff as well. Obviously this car does not have matching paint, so we have a door that we would need to paint, a fender that we would need to paint, the hood that we need to paint, you know, just a bunch of other little things that, you know, kind of add to it, as well as it's a factory auto car, which isn't too big of a deal because we have everything to swap it over to a manual. But like I said in the last video, got a marketplace and I got a deal. So we loaded up the 450. We went and took a look at it, and I brought it home. Take a look at this thing. So this is a 98 four-door sedan. This is an EX model, so it actually has the paint match molding, paint match door handles, and a sunroof on it. It has the perfect amount of patina, a little bit of faded stuff. We're not putting like a brand new door and a brand new fender where like the car isn't gonna match. This is like my ideal perfect sleeper setup. Looks like it's been sitting around, look like it's been driven, but it's also in pretty clean, presentable shape. Has a couple little dings and dents on it, but not as bad as the other car. It is missing a rear bumper, which we have. It has missing the rear license plate thing, which we have. The interior of this thing, super clean, just like the other one, and came with a bunch of other parts. We have an AC compressor. We actually have a wiring harness that came out of this car. It has a D-series AC compressor bracket to mount this on a D-series AC compressor on a B-series, which is cool. We have a chipped P28 ECU, and we have the original wiring harness to this car, which is a big deal, as well as some Rota wheels, which are, these are like some T37 knockoffs. This is also an ABS car, which I don't know, we'll probably end up deleting that maybe. I don't know if that's gonna work with, you know, the Honda and all that other stuff when we do the turbo, but might delete that. Has a wideband, has a full exhaust and B-series axles already ready to go, and it doesn't have that dent in the engine bay.
It looks like it's just overall better clean car. Yeah,
and it wasn't that far away. It was a reasonable price. And then now I'm gonna say we could possibly keep the other four-door for maybe a spicy like all-wheel drive version in the future. So maybe if somebody takes this Sleeper Civic giveaway home, maybe we could build Sleeper Civic giveaway number V2 with like a K-series all-wheel drive in it in the future, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why we stopped working on this yesterday. So we're gonna go ahead and we kind of got everything taped up. We got things put back in the car, and we're just gonna kind of push this one outside, and we'll get to working on it in the future, or figure it out in the future. But as of right now, it's going outside. We're gonna pull in the other one, and then we got to start prepping that bay to get ready to paint, because we got to get this thing ripping. All right, so Eric got the rest of the engine bay prepped today, so got it all Scotch-Brighted, pretty much almost ready to spray. All we got to do is sand the little pieces right here that I did a little bit of the icing on yesterday. So just gonna buzz those down, hit some of the stuff down underneath it that went to bare metal, like right there, a little bit of bare metal. Hit that with some etching primer. Other than that, paint booth is clean and ready to spray. So as soon as this is done, then we're just gonna stick it in the booth. We're gonna mask it off and we're just gonna freaking let it rip, right?
Make it pretty.
Make it all the way pretty. Got some paint this morning, so it's close. She's in the booth, everything has been masked off and she is ready to spray. Hit some of the stuff with some of the etching primer, just a little bit of the bare metal spots, but I am gonna hit this thing with a coat of the high build primer, and we're just gonna reduce that and use it as a sealer. And the reason that we do that is because this is a direct to metal primer. So if there's any little spots that I missed with the etch, and also it will give it a nice even coat for the silver to lay out on. So we'll reduce this quite a bit, but that will just help with coverage for the silver. Silver typically doesn't cover that well. So yeah, we'll spray that stuff on here, and then it should be, in theory, good to go. I'm excited to see this thing all painted, and then I'm really gonna be excited to see it with an engine in it. All right, boys, there she is in the flesh. That brand new silver just looks so nice. So, I mean, I think for painting an engine bay, you could obviously go crazy. You know, you could high build prime, you could wet sand, you could do a bunch of stuff. But I think the overall goal is just, you know, scuff it up real good and just put some paint on it. Getting it all shiny, one color again, it just looks so much better. So you can see all this stuff was kind of faded looking. Obviously we had like the damage and all that stuff right here, so we got all that smoothed out. And overall, it looks freaking nice. So yeah, we got everything masked off real good. So we'll get this thing unmasked tomorrow. And we got the subframe all cleaned up for it. So it is gonna come together pretty quick. We gotta drill and tap the oil pan for the engine, so that way we could put that thing in there, get turbo and everything on it, and start making some boost. So some good progress will be made in the next video. But if you guys are stoked on the progress that we have made on this thing so far, be sure to give this video a like. If you're not a VIP, I don't know why you're sleeping on it. We've gained about 25 VIPs since we launched this promotion. So that means that your odds are really, really good. So if you want the chance at taking home the Sleeper Civic, eventually when it's done, obviously at the end of September, us building your car with a $5,000 budget or just $5,000 deposited straight into your account, join the VIP. Don't sleep. Appreciate you guys watching. See you later.